You have to give it attention and bring your focus to it every day, or else you're going to lose those skills.
Our subconscious plays a massive role.
Like, why not? Why not just do it?
The word try gives you a way out. If you say I'm going to try, you're not going to do it.
There are very, very few things that actually have to happen, that are essential to happen in your everyday life in order to exist. You're listening to episode 6 of Apology Void.
I nearly said good morning.
It is your morning, so like
It is
that's
my morning.
totally fair. I
we've
just
just
go
been having
along
the
with it
chat.
at this point. Yeah. Yeah, anytime you say good morning, I'm just like, good morning, Sal, even though it is literally afternoon here, almost evening. The sun is setting.
Yes, no. Well, it looks like the sun's setting because it's stormy as here today.
Oh my goodness. We just got more snow.
Oh, jealous. I
Mm-hmm.
love the snow.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Yeah, it's so good. Although I must admit, I was talking to someone the other day and we were talking about, I was saying how much I loved the snow, and they were from Europe. And they're like, yeah, you love it when you don't have to be in it all the time.
Correct.
I'm like, maybe you're right, because we just like go on day trips to the snow and it's super fun and we go snowboarding or whatever. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I love it. And she's like, yeah, but if you lived it, had to like shovel it off your driveway, you would not love it.
You had to walk in it all the time, you had to slush in it, you had to deal with like it turning gray from traffic and stuff. It gets gross after a while.
I would love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually
That's the
looking
least.
up I was actually looking up to see the Fahrenheit to Celsius today because I don't think you would like how cold it is here.
How cold is it?
Celsius,
Yeah.
it feels like negative 16 degrees.
Oh my goodness. Why are you not wearing like 1,000 trillion layers?
I even
You're having
went
a
for a
t-shirt.
walk.
You went for a walk.
Yeah, right before I hopped on this call, like I went for a big quick walk around the block and
Okay.
you get used to it. Like you do.
No, I think I would love it. No, I maintain.
Okay. Perfect.
Maintain. Anyway, I love the snow anyway, side note.
Totally aside. Well, today we're going to be talking about words and how your words, your language, how everything you say makes a big difference. We've already talked about it a little in a couple previous episodes, but today I think it deserves its own topic.
I think it does, because as you said, we've definitely touched on it, like in the episodes previously, specifically related to that topic.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it needs to be talked about in its own entity, because it does relate to everything that we have talked about and everything that we will talk about as well.
Absolutely.
So it's like summary of, what we have talked about in the words and things, but then also a precursor to keep in mind as you're listening going forward.
Yeah.
For that as well.
Yeah, it's something that I know I have personally worked really hard on, is the language that I use with myself, with other people, in conversation, in literally everything that I do. In a previous episode, we talked about how I got rid of the word busy one year. I cut it from my vocabulary, and it literally changed my entire life. It changed how people related to me, how I got invited to things, how I saw my own life. It actually diminished my anxiety significantly by just changing one word. So, yeah, that's my personal experience. I've done a lot of work in that area.
Yeah, nice. So we'll touch on a few things, some examples, and get into it.
Let's get into it. I love
Let's get
this.
Into it. So there's a couple of avenues that we're talking about. So we're talking about the language that you use, I guess, towards yourself, and that doesn't mean you're not talking to yourself. Well, I do. But I'm not saying out loud, we're not saying, oh, but we think things, or we sort of criticize ourselves a lot, I guess is where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And then the other avenue is the words that we use towards other people. So I guess that's the two branches that we'll go down in the episode. And I think we should start with ourselves, because the last couple of episodes have been about sort of setting goals and, speaking to ourselves about food related and New Year's resolutions and things like that. So one thing that we do a lot is speak negatively to ourselves or think negative thoughts about
Yes,
ourselves or things that we have done or actions that we have taken.
absolutely.
Really hard thing to do. And you just said before you've worked really hard on your language.
Yeah.
And it's a daily thing. It's never going to be, oh, I've worked really hard on that and now I'm great for the rest of my life. It's
Yeah.
just not
No.
going to happen. You can't do that. You can't, it's an ongoing daily, I'll use the word battle, because I don't know where this conditioning came about, and I should do a bit of research, but it's like we're conditioned to think negatively,
Yeah.
almost. And we have to work to think. But it's like, okay, so sometimes something you don't know. I'm just taking over. I can be a little bit clumsy, right? So I'll be like holding things. Like yesterday, I was packing the dishwasher, repacking it because I didn't like how Nick did it. But I was picking up a bowl and I just dropped it. I just dropped it out of my hand for no reason, right? And then you think to yourself, oh, Sally, you idiot. Like,
Yeah.
that's an example of what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter that I dropped the bowl. Like, who cares? Why? Instantly, though, I didn't say that out loud, but I criticized myself straight away. And that's putting yourself down. It's really important that we're mindful. That's a very, like, I guess, I was going to say butchered, but no, that's the wrong word. Like a macro example. I'm going to talk about the more micro ones, but that's a macro example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of is, I go by Katie, but if I mess up, my brain goes, Caitlin, you're such an idiot. Like, I even use a different word for myself, like a different name, which is so harsh and like
It's like you're getting yourself in trouble.
I am. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like you're scolding yourself, even if it was something that was a complete and total accident. So it's this, you said to battle. I think of it like a practice and a muscle that you have to literally train and continue training. I mean, if you stop going to the gym, you're going to like lose some of the muscle mass you've gained. It's a continual practice and something that you
Mm.
have to do and engage in with attention to it. You have to give it attention and bring your focus to it every day, or else you're going to lose those skills and slip back into the, self-critical thing. There's this thing going on the internet. It's like this whole trend where it's that we listen and we don't judge. And I'm
Say that
like,
again. I missed the start.
it's a trend going around like on Instagram and stuff where it's we listen and we don't judge. And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
people just
listen.
being honest and in front of their family and having them not judge. Like, what if we could just do that with ourselves?
100%.
Like, just not
And you
judge
nailed it.
ourselves.
Like it's practice. It's a muscle. It's practice, it's a muscle. That's a much better way of putting it. That's articulated very well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It
You're
is a battle
amazing.
sometimes. No, you're amazing.
See us just practicing what we're talking about.
Well, it is. It is a practice. Like, okay, I used to have really, really bad self-esteem. And I talked about that, I think, in our last episode, or I talked about that in a different conversation with
Mm.
someone, how I had terrible self-esteem. I was somebody who had acne starting at age 8. Like saw a
Mm.
dermatologist starting at age 8. Was the awkward kid with acne and glasses and a bad haircut for years.
Did you have a bowl cut?
I did not. My sister did though.
Oh,
I
that's
think she
cute.
might kill me if I shared the picture of her like in her basketball jersey with her bowl cut.
We won't do that to her. You're
It's
like, I might.
adorable. It's out there. Maybe I'll share an awkward picture of me from growing up, but I had terrible self-esteem. And so, you know, I might have had a not great end to my relationship, but I will say one positive thing about my ex-husband is he really wanted me to talk to myself better. And so anytime I would say something negative about my body, about my outfit, about how I felt or looked that day, he would actually have me look in a mirror and say one thing I liked about myself.
That's actually amazing.
It was incredible. And, you know, that was a battle. Like, that was a battle to
Mm,
untrain my brain from going, oh gosh, you're ugly. Oh gosh, you aren't good enough. Your eyebrows look awful today, whatever.
mm,
Like any of that, I had to learn to love myself by saying positive things to myself in a mirror on a daily basis. Like people
mm.
talk about having affirmations that they practice in a mirror, and it's actually a good thing. It works. Like it actually works.
Affirmations do work. I do affirmations,
Yeah.
and I do affirmations related to different things, like if that's sort of business or personal health or whatever, health, money, lots of different things. And yeah, it's important to do them about speaking positively to yourself as well, like saying nice things about yourself. It doesn't have to be about, you just use the word eyebrows as an example. It doesn't have to be, because I do that too, 100%. I think I did it today. Someone was like, oh, geez, lol.
Calling you out over here.
I love it. That's fine. I'm happy. But it can be about like your ability or your courage or your confidence. It can be about things that doesn't have to be about your physical appearance if that's not you. So if you
Yeah.
say struggle with being positive about your physical experience, then yes, the affirmation should likely be around that. But if it's about minds, because mindset ones are great as well. I
Yes.
mainly do mindset ones, but with affirmations is its whole topic. We need to add this to the list, by the
We'll
way.
just add it to the list.
Just add it to the list. But I just want to say one thing. Actually, no, I do want to say one thing about it. That affirmations, like do them and have them the same ones on repeat until they sink in. That's all I'll say. Let's do a topic on affirmations. Done.
Adding it to the Trello board will do.
Done. Tick. And the other thing I was going to say, like what we're talking about now, I guess is a little bit of conscious thought as well.
Yes.
But our subconscious plays a massive role in what we're talking about, like our language towards ourselves and others. And I think that's really important to touch on as well. So
Yeah. There was a
I
whole
feel like I'm
thing I was
hijacking the episode. So
you're great. I love it. You are not. This is a wonderful conversation. I was listening to something in the car the other day, and it was an interview with an author. I'll have to share the book title, probably on our Instagram because I
mm,
can't remember it at the moment. But she was talking about how you need to bring attention to where your attention is. Because it's so subconscious what we are attending to, what we are thinking, what we are, where our attention actually goes is a subconscious thing. So if you bring attention to where your attention is and then intentionally work on it, it makes a world of change. No matter what you're
100%.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And there's lots of different variations of what you're saying as well in many
yeah.
different sort of books and podcasts and things. It's like pay attention to pay attention to what you're drawn to. Or
Yes.
there's one around sort of fear and like working on like being more courageous and stuff. Like pay attention to what instills that feeling of fear, and that's what you would need to, like, say, do affirmations on,
Yeah.
or read books about, or listen to audios about. That's another sort of side note as well, but that's about taking note of your subconscious.
Yeah, it's the same
That's
with
often a feeling.
yeah, it's the same with like defensiveness. If you become
Mm,
defensive about something or if you judge someone, like look at where that is and then actually dive into the belief behind that. Like, why are you feeling that way versus continuing that thought pattern?
mm,
Because defensiveness or that judgment is more of a triggered response than it is the actual underlying like reasoning. So,
mm, mm. Yeah, 100%. And our subconscious, like when we're talking about the subconscious and language, I think to try to simplify that, what I'm referring to is using words like I can do that or I can't do that, but instinctively. So
Yes.
if you're presented with something that's hard and you're like, I can't do it,
Right.
but like instantly we do that. So whereas we likely can. Actually, I'm going to take that back. We absolutely can. We just need to change that thought process around that. Because if we say we can't, we're not going to do it straight
Right.
away. Yeah. Or we think we can't, we're not even going to try.
Yeah. It's so true. Like that's a conditioned and normal response. It's a
Yeah.
it's it's telling yourself you're not good enough or not something enough to be able to do that thing.
Mm,
And it doesn't even give yourself a chance. You're not giving yourself this opportunity to actually be something awesome. Like, why
mm,
not? Why not just do it?
mm.
And if you don't want to, then okay, that's a different conversation. There's
Sure.
a different conversation between I can't and I have no desire.
Mm. And that's a really good point to raise, because I do feel like in some circumstances, I can't is used as an excuse for I don't want to, because people, the comfort, like saying, being uncomfortable, sorry, in saying that I don't want to, or I'm not interested. Oh, I can't. It's like when you go, like, if, I don't know, I used to have this friend, anyway, we had a group of friends, and we'd be going somewhere, right? And there was always one that was like, I can't because of this, da 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 da. It's like, you just don't want to. It's fine. Like, I'm still your friend. I don't care if you don't want to come. Just say you don't want to come.
Yeah.
Like, don't make up an excuse. I can't because, I don't know, I've got to like shave my dog or something. I don't know. Like, don't just make up an excuse. Anyway, that's a bit off topic, but
But
it's
it's
not.
true. It's true. It's spot on. I mean, we use the word can't rather than being authentic and truthful in what we actually need or mean.
Mm,
I can't can be substituted with I need support. I have skills I need to
yes.
learn. I don't have the desire to do this. There's a way to take it from the negative statement of I cannot to I can with help. I can with knowledge. I
Mm,
can, but I'd rather not.
mm, mm-hmm.
Like there are ways to take that negative statement and really shift it. And I think that's the same with a lot of other things, whether it's the can, can't, the try, the do, the do, the don't, the all of those positive, negative
Mm,
things and the words that we often subconsciously just go to automatically.
mm. That's another good one. I love the try, because yeah, it's so good. I know. And I'd still do it. And I try to, I think I just used it before, and I don't like to,
You literally
because,
just used it.
right? But unintentionally. And that's something that I've been working on, because I don't believe there's a try. Either do or you don't. Because the word try gives you a way out. If you say I'm going to try, you're not going to do it.
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse.
It's an absolute excuse. You know, my mom used to do the Yoda quote all of the time from Star Wars. There is no try, there is do or do not, like all of that. So I have grown up with that my
I don't even
entire
remember that on
life.
Star Wars. Just I'm like, oh, okay. So like everybody's known about this forever and a day, but except for me.
Oh, and I could be
Yep.
misquoting it. That is possible because like my pop culture references are not good. Uh
Neither.
People are like, "Have you seen this movie?"
So you're
No.
quoting it.
No. We did watch Star Wars the other day. We did watch Rogue One while we were playing a space-based board game. So we were setting like
That
the
seems fitting.
atmosphere here, right? I thought so.
But why did you pick Rogue One? That's like somewhere down the line, isn't it? It's like number 8 or something,
It's
isn't it?
because it's a good movie.
I mean,
I didn't
fair
have
enough.
time for the whole series, Sal.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You watched the whole thing?
No.
How many movies are there? Like 9?
You know what? Maybe if
I'm not
somebody
sure.
else can tell us how many Star Wars based things there are. I just found out there was a Star Wars Christmas special like a few weeks ago. I heard
Well, I
it
just
was
found out right now. I mean,
so
look,
anyway.
I do love Star Wars, like as a series. I'll do love it, but it's not something that I would go back and rewatch 100 times.
Yeah. No.
Anyway,
Well,
anyway.
okay. So fun little aside here. Nathan loves to have theme content behind whatever we're doing. So we started a book club just for the two of us,
Oh, that is so cute.
which I think is precious. So we were sitting on the couch last night, each of us reading our individual copy. We're starting with something super easy. We're doing the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Glass Elevator ones. So we're doing those, but he's like, "Well, we need to have the soundtrack to the original movie playing."
Just getting right into it.
I was like, "Oh, you're sweet. Oh, this
Oh,
is
stop.
amazing."
I actually think we need to. I know we've really sidetracked, but I'm going to keep going on the sidetrack.
I love it.
Anyway, I love it. We've both referenced, actually, you've just referenced Nathan and I've referenced Nick today. And I think, does anyone know who that is? So when we're talking about that, so Nick is my partner and Nathan is Katie's. So if you hear us referring to those names, that's who we're talking about. It's who we live with
Yes.
in
And
our daily
like,
life.
gosh bless both of them. Thank them. Like, they have done some wonderful work behind the scenes that does not go acknowledged all of the time here. So,
No, actually, initially, they really put in the effort, right?
yeah. Yes.
Like in the beginning, they really definitely had some input. So thank you.
They really pulled some weight there.
Thanks,
So,
team.
go team.
I mean, to be fair, they do have the qualifications to have helped us. So
Oh, heck yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
let's
Nathan
just.
has a degree in graphic design, so he did help a little with our
Mm,
logo. I was doing it myself, and he's like, "Well, this would be better like this, and maybe you should do this here." And I was like, "Okay, fine. Thank you. I
thank
actually
you.
appreciate it. Thank you." It wasn't
Yes,
that I couldn't do it, I just needed support.
that's right. And we did actually create the base. It's just that he had some really positive feedback and some
Yeah.
really constructive ideas.
Well, and Nick has had some great, great thoughts too. Like
Yes.
our
Yes. Well, he's
intro.
also very creative and he's an audio engineer by trade. So he doesn't practice that anymore. But yes, I'm sure he has he does have lots of feedback about our audio. But it's a work in progress. We're working on it.
Every
My
day.
microphone wouldn't work today, so that was fun.
You know what's
That's gonna be
cool?
that's gonna be an ongoing thing. It's gonna be like, what's that thing in movies when it's like just ongoing joke? Like it popped up in every. That's gonna be me with the fucking microphone.
Every episode, it's a different issue.
It's a different issue. Whatever.
To bring us back on track here, this whole
Yes.
podcast thing was not something we decided to try on. It could have been a try, but it was really an either we do or we don't.
Oh, absolutely. It,
If we would have gone with the let's just try it,
it wouldn't have
we
happened.
wouldn't have done it. Like we just wouldn't have.
100%. Like when we first spoke about it, I've got another sidetrack, but I won't do it now. When we first spoke about it, my brain today, guys, is just our chats before this was just so funny. Anyway, when you first asked me, I was like, yes, we're doing it. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, maybe, we'll try, we'll give it a go. No. And I was talking about this with a friend yesterday. I won't give you the backstory, but yada, yada. She said, you don't half do things or you don't give up. She said, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. She said, when you start something, you do it or you finish it. You don't faff or stop halfway through or doing. She goes, you don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it's just not something. When I thought about it, she's absolutely right. Like, if I say I'm doing something, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And once I make a decision, you're not changing my mind. Like, I'm stubborn as all hell. But it's not something I'd sort of thought out outwardly. So I don't try to do things. I just do them or I don't do it.
Yeah, I think everything else is an excuse.
everything else is an excuse, but I do still say it. And I did do that before. So definitely something that I want to work on myself and encourage you to do it as well. Like that's something that we really, I think can really make a difference.
Yeah. And if it's not try, if that's not the word that might be coming up for you, our listeners, what is? Like, what is the word that you use all of the time that is creating kind of like a block or an excuse or a negative association? Mine was busy. Yours has been try. I
Mm,
mean, the other ones, and I think this is a big cultural one, is need versus want. We are a
yeah,
very like things based
hmm,
kind of society, and we get ads
absolutely.
for things all of the time. And now it's just been made easier by all of the online shopping and everything. So it's one of those like, I need this, I must have it, it is essential, it is critical, it's required, it is. That's what you're saying when you say I need something versus I want.
Mm,
You don't need to do the dishes every day, all of the time. You have a want to do this thing. There are very, very few things that actually have to happen that are essential to happen in your everyday life in order to exist.
it's true
You
though.
you need to eat. You need to drink water.
Mm, you need to breathe.
You need to breathe. You need to rest. Like those are needs.
Yeah,
Everything else kind of a want.
want. Yeah, it's
Gives you
true.
kind of a new evaluation.
And it's those sort of words. I don't know what that word is, how you like either end of the scale thing. And I want to talk about like the do and don't
Oh yeah.
because we were just talking about the subconscious before we got crazy, but our subconscious is really interesting. So if you're thinking about something like do and don't, your subconscious can't actually recognize the difference. Sorry, I should say your subconscious doesn't understand don't. So if you're saying like, oh, um, like yeah, kids. Why do we always talk about kids? But it's a good example. Like when you're saying to a kid, don't touch that, they don't process the don't. It's touch that. Or it's, um, I don't want to do something. Your subconscious will work towards doing that thing because it can't
Yes.
recognize the don't. It's just the do. Like if you think of a sentence, take away the do or the don't at the start, and that's what your subconscious will work on.
Yeah.
So that's about reframing your thoughts into a positive light, I guess. And we can bring this back to affirmations. Like
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to use the word try. Or actually, that's not related to affirmations, but I was thinking about something else and I said something completely different. This is my brain today. I'm gonna keep going with it. I don't want to use the word try. Just your subconscious be like, use the word try.
Yes.
So it's reframing. I'm going to speak of things in absolute. Something
Correct.
like that would be a good reframing.
It is such a challenge, but it's so worth it. I was actually given that assignment by my therapist for a week once, where all of my phrasing, first in my appointment, I was allowed to only use positive language.
Mm-hmm.
Only. No negative language, no not, no isn't, anything that had the word not in it, whether it was a conjunction or something else, like a full sentence, that had to be eliminated. So
Mm,
then I was actually getting to the root thought of what I was telling myself.
I
When
love
you
that.
stop, yeah, when you stop to consider how much not language we use, I say not language,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you're actually programming your subconscious to believe the opposite. Just like you said, you're telling it to do the opposite thing. So I guess my personal challenge would be try just an hour where you take all of the nots, all of the negatives out of your language and see what happens.
I'm going to do that today.
It's
I love that.
it's a little bit of a challenge, but I loved
Mm,
it. I
mm.
loved it.
Well, it's coming back to what you were saying at the start, because that will bring attention to that. Like, bring attention to what you're giving attention, like, not, don't all the negative things.
Yeah.
It will draw your attention to how many times you're actually using it and how often or how much work it takes to reframe your mind.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee we do it way more than we think we do. Way more.
Yes.
And I
Absolutely.
feel
And
like, this has been about so far about us. Talk to ourselves. But the language towards others too is really important. And we touched on this last week around the food and things, but it's not just about that. Like, we can talk about the can, the can't, the do and the don't when we're talking about speaking to others. Like, if someone
right.
said to me, I can't do that, I'd say, yes, you can.
Right.
You just don't want to.
Right.
Yes, you can. Like, speaking positivity over others as well is really important, and kindness and just those basic things. Like, that's the whole thing.
Oh my goodness. Kindness is so massive. There is so much negative. I'm
We're having a day.
Ugh. This is why I went for a walk around the block, was to like get my blood flowing, get my brain moving.
Oh
I've now
yeah,
been
minus
sitting.
16, that'll freeze your brain, not get it going.
Yo, I walked fast. I walked so fast. I think I could have been like a competitive speed walker today.
Katie's joining the Olympics, everyone. As a speed
We're moving.
walker. Funny are those speed walkers, honestly.
It's amazing.
They
Like, and
crack me up.
I want to know the rules behind them. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah, we use a lot of negativity in how we talk to other people and about other people, when really we can get the point across. Even if it's a change that needs to be made, we can get the point across in a positive way.
Mm.
We really can. Um, like you were saying, you can reframe things for other people. Man, do I call people out when they say they can't do something, or they're not good enough, or something, they need something. I'm like, really? Really? I don't think that's true. Or if they say try, I'm like, nah.
You're not going to do it.
Let's move that from try to I will.
I will, yeah.
Yeah. So I think the way that we talk to other people, the language we use with them, really informs all of our relationships and is a great way to build community. I mean, that's part of what I try to do in my Instagram, is build a beautiful community by saying positive things. Like every day when I used to go to the gym, I would say, "Good morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. How are you? What's going on?" And I would just share that in my story. And the number of people who came back just happy and were like, "Thank you for that message. I needed to hear that today." I'm like, we all need to hear that. It's not, it's so easy to just say, "Hey, have a great day."
It's so easy, and yet we don't do it. Even just saying hello to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, don't use any words. Smile at somebody. Like, just walking down the street, just smile at somebody.
Yep.
We
Wave.
just have no idea about the impact that that could make. Like, that
Correct.
person could be really struggling, or that person could really, they could be just thinking negative thoughts about themselves flat out all day, every day. And you
Yeah.
smile at them, and makes them have that moment of happiness. And that
Yeah.
could make a difference.
The number of people who I have had impactful conversations with that has simply started with, "How are you today?" These are people I don't know. It's a cashier at the grocery store. It's the attendant at the gas station. It's, random person in line with me somewhere. I just say, "Hey, how are you today?" Or Or I say, hey, I like your earrings. Those are super fun.
Yes, compliments. Okay, genuine ones.
Genuine.
Genuine ones. Don't just walk
Only
around saying
say,
like random stuff.
mm, 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 mm,
No,
mm,
no, no,
mm.
no. Try it out. I generally use a compliment every day.
Yeah.
I'm mindful of it, as in terms of that's something that I actively do. However, I wouldn't if I didn't have anything that was genuine to say. Like I wouldn't.
Right.
It's like that need. I wouldn't go, oh, I need to tick a box today and use a compliment. I wouldn't just
Right.
make one up. But if I see something I like or someone makes me feel happy, I tell them. I
Yeah.
give them the compliment.
Yeah. Hey, Sal.
Hey,
Hey, you have really nice smile and cheekbones. Just so you know, you
thanks.
have such a beautiful smile.
Thanks.
I'm glad the world gets to see it now on like YouTube and Spotify.
That's actually so nice.
But I mean it genuinely.
Bless. It's too cute. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Do you know,
You're
I
so
just want to say,
welcome.
I was looking back. Okay, so I decided to scroll back at our original conversation. I was like, how did this start? I've got to find out. So it took me ages to scroll back,
Where did
guys.
we go?
We were like scrolling and loading and pausing. Anyway, it would just started with me commenting on a story.
Yep.
Stop.
Yep.
And I think it was a compliment.
Yep.
Or a reel or something. It was probably a reel because I would have seen a reel. Wait, does that come up in your messages? No.
I don't
I
think it
must have
does.
seen a reel, I reckon, because you're really good at reels and you post like really good stuff. So I must have seen it, gone and commented on a story, I reckon. But
Thank you.
how cute.
Yeah. Two different people complimented the bow I had in my hair yesterday, which I felt self-conscious about, just so we're putting it out there. I felt super self-conscious because it's not something I would normally do. So then me not saying that, but two random people complimenting that bow made the world of difference for me yesterday. I'm like,
So nice.
that's so nice. Yay.
Right? It makes
So,
such a difference, and we really need to be mindful of it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Just like
that,
go out
that
there
old
and
saying. Didn't your mum ever tell you if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? It's that whole thing.
all the time. She said that all the time.
My mum, I mean, I'm sure my mum said that, but I don't regard, I just know the saying. But I will preface that in saying, though, because I get super real, that people do need to be called out sometimes, just saying. Like, and sometimes it's not a, although, as you said, you can have a debate or, disagree with people in a positive way. It doesn't have to be like, you're wrong. You can
Yes.
have that in a really positive way. Look, our thoughts create our language affect our actions. It's a whole thing. just putting it out there.
I think we'll have to do like a part 2 on this at some point because man,
Well,
this
it's
is
kind of hard to summarize it without. I'm really fidgety today as well, guys. It's hard to summarize it with actions. Oh my God. Examples is what I'm trying to say. Examples.
well,
Because it incorporates into every topic. And we've
yeah,
given examples throughout the topics that we've spoken about, like in the goals, the actions, how we're going to achieve our goals matters. In the food, the actions, how we think about our food and how we speak to others matters. The expectations, what we say to other people, that matters. So it's incorporated into everything. I think it's just about sometimes it can get lost in the wayside when you just like, oh, so when you're talking about food, think about this, because then people think it's only about food. Oh, when we're
right,
talking about goals, think about this, oh, it's only about goals. But it's actually not. It's everything in our life, how we think about
right,
ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, that creates difference in ourselves. And then what then we put out into the world towards others changes
yeah,
too. So I think it's just important, whilst it's more of a chat, it's just bringing the awareness, I guess, for our listeners, that it's a whole thing related to every topic.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
hard to sort of pinpoint within this episode exactly, because we'll be here all day giving examples on everything in life. It's just
Yeah.
The
I,
purpose
I
is just
think
to say it, I guess.
I think one piece of it that's super important is we're asking something big, and that is for people to be vulnerable. It is so much easier to use negative language than it is to get vulnerable and
Mm,
pinpoint our beliefs, our thought patterns, our subconscious behaviors. When we say you can take things like calling people out and turn it into something positive, you can do that by getting vulnerable with yourself. So instead of saying something like, you need to stop that, you can say, when you do this thing, it brings out this in me. It
mm,
would be really helpful if you could do this instead. Or have you considered doing this instead?
mm.
Or tell me why you think this. Asking a question, coming at something with curiosity and vulnerability rather than that, this cannot happen.
Mm.
So when you start cutting out that not language, it does require you to get super vulnerable. But let me tell you, it's worth it. It's so worth it in everything that you do. And it not only improves your life, but improves the lives of people around you, which just turns into a bigger cyclic thing. Like doing good
Absolutely.
creates good, all of that. It's beautiful.
It's just a whole beautiful thing.
So beautiful.
I think
Anyway,
that, as I said, as you said, I think we can just go on and on about this forever.
yeah.
So we will talk about words in every single episode and use examples going forward. So listen out for that because it'll
Yeah.
be there. And yeah, good chats today.
Good
I
chats.
was just having a
Whew.
day.
Oh,
I am having a day.
it's fine. It's
It's fine.
okay.
It's fine. Well,
It is who we are.
we
Have
actually
a
don't.
beautiful day, all. Like, have a beautiful day. Go spread joy. Go spread positivity. We'll
Go
talk
smile.
soon.
Thanks so much, guys. See you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.